KFI AM 640. It's later with Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app and on YouTube. The YouTube video simulcast is underway. And this is where I wanted to start tonight. I was listening to you, Mark Ronner, talking about the passing of Wink Martindale.
Yeah, I wrote that myself. We didn't have it, and I wanted to make sure that it was in our very first newscast.
We were on the same page. We didn't even talk about this.
Yes.
I remember when I was in middle school and also early high school, I did not ever miss Tic-Tac-Doe. I never missed Tic-Tac-Doe.
I believe that about you.
Yes. Okay. We know Wink Martindale also did Gambit and other shows, but for me, he was synonymous with Tic-Tac-Doe.
Oh, yeah.
I watched him every night. And it wasn't until I got into radio that I learned about his radio origins. And I loved him even more because of that, because I could see how a radio career as a disc jockey and a radio personality, which is somewhat different, propelled him to game show host.
It's fascinating when you learn about the backgrounds of these game show hosts, like especially Peter Marshall, who died, I believe, last year. And we had Allison Martino from that great vintage LA thing. I say thing because it's like across all media, talking about him. And she was, in fact, friends with Wink Martindale. And the last time I spoke with her, I asked her if we could hook up with Wink for whenever was the next time I was going to guest host. But yeah, he was a legend in the game show community.
And I think he did not get his due among game show hosts. And I don't want to compare them, but you heard more about a Monty Hall, excuse me. Or a Bob Barker.
About Monty Python.
Yeah. Or Bob Barker. You know, you heard more about even Bob Eubanks. You heard more about them, but I felt more of an affinity for Wink Martindale.
Well, I think Eubanks is still with us, and I was talking.
Oh, he's still with us.
Yeah, I was talking about this with the long-suffering one today. I think attitudes have changed toward game show hosts and game shows. Like when you and I were kids, I think the hosts were regarded as cheesy, helmet, spray-haired kind of weirdos, and now I would happily host a game show.
The whole concept of TV and game shows has changed. When we were growing up, TV was considered beneath movies. And daytime TV, especially when you talk about game shows or soap operas, now it's changed where you have big stars doing TV, big stars doing TV game shows.
Well, also, you can speak for yourself, but I was just stupid. And watch an episode of Match Game now with Gene Rayburn.
I love Gene Rayburn as well. I mean, just the Match Game music. They're just the amount of comedy which was exhibited by like a Wink Martindale or a Gene Rayburn was so underappreciated.
Yes.
To watch a Match Game and see Fannie Flagg or someone really, really push the limits and boundaries of humor for 1970s TV.
Oh, Charles Nelson Riley.
Yeah. Paul Lynde on Hollywood Squares. There was a lot of talent, I think, which was just undervalued. And of course, not to get too far away from Wink Martindale, if you followed Wink's career, it's very closely tied to Elvis Presley.
Yes.
And one of the things that Wink Martindale did was he did a long radio tribute to Elvis Presley when he died. Where do you think I get a lot of my ideas for radio tributes from? That's a direct line from Wink Martindale. When someone passes, and it's hard to do it now, especially with music because we can't put music in a podcast, but I made it a big deal to do these elaborate sort of retrospectives when music artists would pass, a la Wink Martindale.
I hope he knew in his later years how appreciated he was.
I never met him. I never had the opportunity to interview him. I wish I did. And sometimes when they're out of the public eye, they're not at the forefront of your mind and you don't actively think about them. And then, unfortunately, the news comes across your desk like it did today. Then Wink Martindale had passed at the age of 91. I can say, and I've said this about other people, but I can say it about Wink Martindale. He didn't get cheated in life. I would say that he gave a lot and he got a lot back. Maybe not as much as I think he deserved, given the amount of talent that he had. But I know that for me, he was one of the best ever.
91 is a good long run, and I am happy to pay tribute to Wink. Let's not forget, okay? There's no other Wink that we know of.
Actually, there's an NFL coach.
Oh.
Who his last name is Martindale, and he adopted the nickname of Wink. I have to look it up, but
that seems like blasphemy.
Look, and I think it couldn't have been like related to him as far as the NFL coach. And I said, but obviously, at least his Don Wink Martindale is an American football coach. Is a defensive coordinator for the University of Michigan right now. Yep.
And by the way, just for trivia's sake, Wink Martindale's real name was Winston Conrad Martindale.
Yeah, I knew it was Win. I didn't know it was short for Winston.
Yeah, that's a rather aristocratic sounding name. I can see how you'd want to go with Wink.
I was looking for hours trying to find a decent tic-tac-toe music intro, and it's just not out there. I was searching high and low on YouTube, and I wanted specifically the theme, which was used from 78 to 86, because that's when I was watching the show, not the later versions.
I don't know if you were looking at me in the camera and my cat-like head movements, like when a cat starts to smell a can being opened. I could tell what was going on.
Yeah, there were certain things that, look, I just have to start with this. And the news broke rather recently. It wasn't like something I had time to prepare. It wasn't like something I really had time to go into my thoughts and think back. This was all off the top of my head. But he facilitated a lot of good memories, because when I know Tic-Tac-Toe came on in the evening, and maybe it came on in the daytime as well, but I watched it after I got home from school, because I'd watch Tic-Tac-Toe, I think Joker's Wild, and then Benny Hill. They were all...
That's a good combo.
Yeah, I was watching all of them each night, and I think Benny Hill was the nightcap for me. I had to go to sleep at 9:30 school nights. It was very early for me.
Well, you had a very strict childhood.
Yes, I did.
I used to illicitly stay up late and quietly turn on like Tom Snyder on my little black and white TV.
Oh, the best I could do, I had a little Philco TV, but I couldn't turn it on. I had this radio, and it's interesting because, you know, your life comes full circle. I would listen to the radio late at night, or at least late at night in my world. And that's when I started listening to KABC radio, talk radio. My parents would listen to it in the morning, so I'd listen to the Ken and Bob Company and fell in love with Paul Harvey. I'm Paul Harvey.
Oh, yeah.
And now you know the rest of the story.
We could have dueling Paul Harveys.
Yes. But my point is, listening to the radio, I fell in love with the storytelling without being able to see it. And game show hosts is very similar. And then you start investigating game show hosts. Oh, my goodness, radio background. And it all makes sense.
It does. So R.I.P. Wink. That was the first thing I woke up to today, and it kind of put me in a funky mood.
It did. But I'm glad I have someone to at least remember him with.
Absolutely. And as Paul Harvey would say, good day.
Yes. Paul Harvey, news and content. It's later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app and YouTube at Mr. Mo Kelly. Check out the live video stream.
At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Ranked #1 in innovation for 10 consecutive years and #2 among public universities for employability. ASU isn't just ahead of the curve. It's creating new paths to success. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
And also on YouTube at Mr. Mo Kelly, the live video cast, simulcast stream. It's tax day, or is it not? It depends on what your plans are and what you've been dealing with this tax year. California residents and businesses who may have been affected by the wildfires back in January got a 6-month extension, that is October 15th, to file federal tax returns and make payments. That's according to, yeah. And look, I always do my taxes and file in October. I just tell my accountant, we're just doing it in October. It's just better and it's easier for my life to not have to rush getting all my documents together. But California is also giving an automatic 6-month extension to file all tax returns for all Californians. However, any taxes owed for calendar year 2024 must be deposited and postmarked by Tuesday. That's according to the state franchise tax board. So let me just separate that out. You have a 6-month extension for your state taxes, but any taxes that you owe, you're going to have to get those in the mail now. In other words, you're still pretty much going to have to do your taxes if you think you're going to owe. But as far as the federal income tax, you can get a 6-month extension until October 15th, especially if you are affected by the January wildfires. And I say that to say you can always ask for that. You can always file for that 6-month extension. Don't think, well, the fires really didn't impact me, I can't get the extension. No, that's something that's always available to you. But especially if you've been impacted, like Tuwala, I would say to you, you have been impacted. You definitely have that 6-month extension available to you.
Oh, it's being used. Trust and believe.
Yeah, and I'm using it as well. And I know that today, as April 15th, tax day is for the most part over for a lot of people. Just because your workday is over, there are still some, I'll say some discounts and some freebies that you can get before this day is completely done. In fact, let me direct you to Burger King. Royal Perk account holders can purchase a cheeseburger for 1 penny with any $1 purchase at Burger King through April 20th, as a matter of fact.
Too many conditions on that.
I know.
You got to have an app, I suppose.
It's always.
And you have to
It's
have
always.
a penny. Come on, Mark.
No, you have to make a $1 purchase as well. You have to make a $1 purchase at the Burger King, and that's after you use the Burger King app or order online.
I question the legitimacy of the Burger King's monarchy.
I don't know. They rule pretty supreme.
Every time I see the actual Burger King in commercials, he looks suspect.
Sus, yes.
He looks like a criminal. Yeah.
Why? Is it the expressionless face?
Yeah. That's part of it. It's part of it. I think we need to deport him.
You definitely could go.
Krispy Kreme. Today only. This is one of those you got to get it done today. When you order any dozen donuts online for pickup or delivery, you get a second dozen of original glazed donuts for free with the discount code TAXBREAK. And if you ever have been in the studio when there are Krispy Kreme donuts, I have to tell them, this is a true story. I say, get the donuts out of here because I will eat all of them. The last time you had a dozen in here, I had at least 4 or 5.
Yes.
Don't get between you and the donuts.
And they're always original glaze. I don't care about any other flavor. Original glaze. I'm eating as many as possible and dealing with the after effects later. Hopefully I don't die in a diabetic coma.
Were you deprived of them as a child? What accounts for this?
There's something about them. I love the taste of them. I really do.
Well, and they're so easy to eat. They go down like nothing.
Yes. And just to make Twala mad, I chase him with a glass of water.
You in the water.
But my favorite, though, is like, get him out of here. And they'll sit on this other table that we have outside, and he'll still yell, "You guys haven't finished these yet?"
Yes, because I still have to pass them. You leave them like right in my path when I leave the studio. When I say get them out of here, it doesn't mean move them further away so I can still smell them and see them.
Because you do walk by and come back with another one. Like,
Right.
what's happening?
Every single time. Who got the donuts last time? Oh, it was Ed Garrigus who brought the donuts and also the Wendy's food.
No. It was Nick. Nick brought
But it was
those
both.
special donuts.
But Ed did one night as well.
Yes, he did.
What am I getting called out for?
Remember when
you
he brought
were
the
getting called for
Krispy
the
Kreme?
donuts. Yeah, the special donuts.
Oh, right. When we were doing the Hulu thing.
Yes. You're another troublemaker.
Well, I
Anyhow,
didn't bring you any food. I brought some other stuff for tonight, but no food tonight.
good. Thank you. If you
Sure
decide
thing.
to purchase your donuts in person, the second original glaze dozen will be the equivalent to the California sales tax dozen for the first dozen. That comes out to about $1.52 under current statewide sales tax rate of. See that Mark is right.
It's too
It's too
complicated.
much. Just give it to me free. Give it to me for $1, whatever. Just don't. That's too much reading. I'm reading it and I still don't understand it.
I need to walk in and say, taxes, and get myself a free donut.
It's tax break. That's the discount code.
Yeah, they'll make
Tax
you stand
break.
there until you get it right, too.
They'll just look at you like it's Jeopardy. Oh, no, sorry. The correct answer is, what is tax break? Shake Shack. A purchase of $10.40 or more. Another one is just make it simple. For $10.40, you can get a free black truffle burger, black truffle shroom, or black truffle parmesan fries. To get the deal, use the code truffle tax at purchase.
I'm not using that code. This is ridiculous.
No.
By the way, nothing is free if you have to pay $10.40
Well,
up front.
These are breaks because it's like tax breaks and discounts for it. This isn't.
Well, how about like a refund? Like California Pizza Kitchen. This is not trying to make me go to CPK. If you sign up, Mark, for California Pizza Kitchen rewards,
You got to get a tattoo while you're at it.
you might as well. You'll receive $10 off a $40 dinner purchase.
How generous.
Or takeout order.
Right.
So you have to spend $40, sign up for rewards, and you'll save $10.
Wait, so you're just buying a $30 meal? That's it?
Wow,
That's not including tip. Remember,
they embarrass us with their kindness.
Yes.
and the offer is valid through Thursday. The discount refers to the 1040 individual income tax form. Oh, come on.
Come on, man. This corny BS. Get out of
Everybody
here.
wants a pound of flesh disguised as a favor to you.
It gets worse. BJ's Restaurant and Brew House, we do a lot of business with them. I'll be gentle. Today, customers who use the code 10OFF40 on their dine-in or takeout purchase of $40 can get $10 off. That's a lot of hoops to jump through.
Wait, isn't this the exact same deal?
It's very similar. It's very, very similar.
I mean, nothing against BJ's Restaurant and Brew House. I love the food, but this is the exact same deal. It's the 1040 deal.
Yeah. Why can't it be like the 1040 easy and make it real simple? Do you remember doing it easy when you were just a young taxpayer and you're learning how to do your taxes?
I think so, but it always gave me the yips. I've never loved anything related to doing taxes. I almost had a complete meltdown last night.
7-Eleven. Customers who use the 7 Now delivery app can get $10.40 off.
Wait a minute. There's a delivery app, so they're bringing the crime to you? It's a delivery app from 7-Eleven.
I just can't think of getting anything delivered from 7-Eleven.
The rat wings?
Customers who use the 7 Now delivery app can get $10.40 off any order of $20 or more when they use the code WRITEOFF.
Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven. Oh, thank heaven. Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven.
When we come back, we have a Waymo, and get this, a robo-taxi Amazon update. And it has to do with LA and Japan. Maybe not in that order. That's next. KFI AM 640. It's Later with Mo Kelly. We're live on the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Mr. Mo Kelly, he warns us all. Says autonomous vehicles might be our downfall. But then Tuwala comes on and claims it's all under control. He says Mo Kelly is wrong, but Mo thinks he's on the payroll of Waymo. 'Cause Waymo be bad, run you over. Waymo be bad, run over. Grand Waymo be bad, run you over. Waymo be bad. The end of us all.
KFI Mo Kelly, live everywhere on YouTube and the iHeartRadio app. In fact, I want you to go to YouTube right now. You can subscribe at Mr. Mo Kelly. I have a question for only those in the chat. I want to know if you would or have used an autonomous rideshare vehicle. And I don't mean just Waymo. You could have used Cruise or the Amazon Robotaxi, which is beginning testing in LA as we speak. But let me start with Waymo. And some people think this is tongue in cheek. Some people think I'm being serious. I'm somewhere in between. I am very skeptical of the technology. I'm not sure that it's ready for prime time. I'm of the opinion that we're maybe 4 or 5 years away, honestly. And we're all test subjects. I would say test dummies, really, as they try to work out the kinks. So if you're in the chat on the YouTube stream at Mr. Mo Kelly, first subscribe and then tell Carnisha, who's running the chat, whether you would, in fact, let's make sure we put up a poll, but find out if you would use one of these autonomous rideshare vehicles. I have not yet, and I'm a slow adopter of a lot of technology. It took me a couple of years before I got into my first Uber. It took me a while. I was not like all gung-ho about it, and I'm not gung-ho about this. But Waymo, the latest is Waymo is now going to Tokyo. The Jaguar cars that you've probably seen around Southern California, they're going to use those same cars, same technology, but in Tokyo, they will be driver operated, at least in the beginning, as these Waymo vehicles will begin mapping the local roads, the infrastructure, and also driving habits of people who live in Tokyo in the larger metropolitan area. Quote, "It's important for us to understand the difference in driving environment, what makes the driving here unique." That's Nicole Gavel, Waymo's head of business development and strategic partnerships. Also, the system is going to use a very small area of international roads, though the cars will be manually driven with Waymo technology on board. So if you were to use a Waymo in Tokyo, at least for the foreseeable future, it will have an actual driver, which is kind of weird, but, you know, it's not really driverless technology if you have an actual driver. But it's learning the roads, learning the habits of drivers. And from what I read, this is how it even started back in San Francisco in 2009. San Francisco, 2009, what is this year? 2025. Took them 16 years to get to this point. Not ready for prime time, and Tokyo will probably take them another 16 years. It'll be 2041. Mark will be dead from old age.
Hey,
I'll be in a home somewhere.
What is it you don't understand about technology and progress? And
it's slow.
And how it takes time.
People die. You know how many people had to die before we got to the moon?
How long were we dealing with analog before we got to CDs? And from CDs to digital. You're talking decades. Decades, Mo. Decades.
In other words, you're trying to compare vinyl to cars and Waymo to MP3s. Except there's not a threat of me dying playing an MP3.
There isn't. If you read the stats in the story, you will see that it is actually safer being in a Waymo than it is ever being on the road yourself. You know how many accidents that happened today? You know how many accidents that Mark can report on right now on the roads? Not a Waymo.
If you have as many Waymos on the road as you do just regular drivers, you will see more and more accidents. It's just
you will not. No, you will not. You absolutely will not, because you know what Waymos don't do? Waymos don't pull over to give people runners. Waymos aren't cutting people off and then having to get runners.
You know what people do?
Accidents?
People successfully navigate a damn food drive-through.
You know what? No. I've already proven last week they cannot. All the drunken misbehaving happening in drive-through lines, not to mention people who just don't know what they want to get.
Yeah, but that doesn't stop the car from moving.
No. I have seen people not be able to make a turn in a Chick-fil-A drive-through.
Oh, and then shut down the whole restaurant like you did with the Waymo.
You know what? We're not talking about that right now. You are literally in the flying flag of falsities in the face of progress.
Amazon's robotaxi.
Yes.
Its equivalent is getting ready to begin testing here in Los Angeles. You heard it here first. Zoox, the autonomous driving technology company owned by Amazon, this summer, they plan to start debuting the technology. And this is going to be the 6th testing location for Zoox. It was founded in 2014 and acquired by Amazon in 2020.
Look at that. Time, Mo.
No, of course. Look, when I say it's not ready for prime time, that means it needs more time. And I don't know if this is going to be better than Waymo. I don't know if it's going to be inferior to Waymo. We know that Elon Musk is probably going to enter into the competition as well for this market share of ride share. Competition is great. I just want to make sure that the technology is where it needs to be, and it probably will be. I just won't be alive to see it.
You're alive now. What are you talking about?
Every day when I drive through Culver City, they are everywhere in Culver City. They've mapped it. It's not a day in which I go to Culver City I don't see at least 4 or 5.
Based on data collected by Waymo, its driverless vehicles had 81% fewer airbag deployment crashes, 78% fewer injury-caused crashes, and 62% fewer police-reported crashes than traditional vehicles driven by people.
Do you want me to tell you about the tobacco industry and the stats that they gave out in the 1970s about how cigarettes did not cause cancer?
Talk about false equivalencies. This is why this is propaganda you are spreading. Pure
How much do they pay you?
propaganda.
How much do they pay you for this?
This is me paying it forward for progress. I want progress. You want us to go back to having Flintstone vehicles where we're using our feet.
No, I want horse and carriage. That's how far back I want to go.
There you go. See, look at that.
Carnacia, what do people in the chat on the YouTube stream say regarding will they use these autonomous rideshare vehicles? We got to turn on the mic. You have to hit the on button. That's the off button. The bottom one is off. That's off. That's on. There you go.
Well, 74% of people said that they will not use an autonomous rideshare.
I'm not by myself.
72% of 10
3
people.
and 4.
How many people?
That's 29 votes.
And it's growing by the minute. It's growing by the minute.
I get it. We have a bunch of anti-technology Luddites.
Is Tawala wearing a custom Waymo Rolex today?
He is.
You can see it now, though. Look, now you cannot tell these anti-Waymo lies. Look at my wrists. My wrists are free for the public to see that we are moving forward with Waymo and now even Amazon.
Since it is tax day, I think it is fair to ask the question, are you actually declaring these gifts on your taxes? No, it wasn't a joke. It was a serious question. If not, I think the IRS should look into you. I think that whoever's running the IRS now, I have no idea because everyone got fired in the federal government.
These falsities are without any proof, unfounded claims, and Waymo will sue.
When we come back, we're going to talk to Stefan and see what's on his list and also compare it to the list of Uber, which has released a list of the strangest things left in the cars. I've left some stuff, but not like permanently. I got it back. We'll talk to Stefan. We'll find out whether Stefan's list is like Uber's list. It's KFI AM 640 later with Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app and on YouTube. Subscribe now at Mr. Mo Kelly.
With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 300 undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
See the show as it happens.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI Mo Kelly, live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app and YouTube. I see it's picking up in the YouTube chat. We have some great questions, and Carnicia's giving some great answers on my behalf. So I'm watching the chat, trying to answer as many questions as possible. If you are new to the show, you can always see what is going on now. You can subscribe. It's real easy. It's free. And then you'll be able to see the show each and every night. And there's no delay. So if someone messes up and cusses, we can't dump that. So you get to see all the Ronners live. Real Ronners.
I have never done that on the air.
Yeah, but I have. And Tawala has. Tawala gave a Ronner to a listener.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Oh, I missed that.
Oh, you weren't paying attention. It was very subtle. Very subtle.
Yeah.
Very quickly, before we end this hour, we talked about how Stefan is an Uber driver. And a lot of times, and Tawala was a former Uber driver. So we bounce these things off him. I am really big into the evolution of rideshare from a technological standpoint. We talked about Waymo, but also just how our economy looks at travel. I'm a slow adopter of technology. I was very slow to adopt Uber. Now I swear by it when I travel. I don't think about taxis. I do Uber, not even Lyft. It's Uber. And then I came across this list of the strangest things left in cars by rideshare riders like me. And there are a bunch of lists. We don't have time for all of them, but I will see if this one list matches up with anything that Stefan has encountered. And these are the 10 most commonly forgotten items in the car. We'll go without the sound effects this time. Coming in at number 10, water bottle. Stefan?
Oh, man. Yeah, let's take a recycling bin after that.
Okay. Number 9, vape or vape pen.
Oh, multiple.
Really?
All the time.
And do you keep them?
No.
You don't want to like just put your mouth on it or anything?
No. No.
Number 8. This is kind of disturbing. Passport.
One time it did happen.
Okay.
I had to go back because I felt bad.
Well, yeah. I mean,
it's like
that person's not going anywhere if they're
Exactly.
traveling.
Yeah.
Number 7, clothing. I would think that would be like near the top, but you know.
Does that include underwear?
It just says clothing, so I guess yes.
I'm guessing that you get some panties on the back seat every now and then.
No,
That's nasty.
But I did get bikini was left behind.
Okay.
So
number 6, glasses. I thought that would be higher on the list.
Yep.
Number 5, headphones.
Earbuds now. But
Earbuds?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Number 4, luggage. Did they leave it in the trunk?
Ooh. Someone did leave like a satchel, and it had a good amount of money in there. And I didn't know what was in it. I didn't look into it. I was like a transporter. And they called me back and like, thank God, this was like the money I had to I was going to travel to Europe, and this is all the money I had in there. And I was like, be careful, buddy.
You were in a mob situation. You just barely escaped with your life.
Transporter. Number 3, keys.
Yeah, definitely.
Keys? Okay.
100%.
All right. Number 2, wallet.
Ooh, that happened. I can remember 2 times that it happened just because they were so scared that they lost everything.
Yeah, I would be scared too. Imagine trying to replace the physical cards, a driver's license, any type of student ID or whatever.
Yeah, like now it's switched to the smartphone, but yeah, the wallet's still pretty important.
And number 1, obviously, this doesn't surprise me at all, the actual phone.
Yeah. Several times I have to travel back on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, I haven't done that because my phone is an appendage. It is always on me.
Same.
It is. It's unhealthy, but at the same time, it's healthy. When I leave the house, if I have my phone, I can get in my house, whether I have my keys or not. If I have my phone, I have access to my wallet, whether I have my physical wallet or not. The phone supersedes everything. The phone can get me home. Yep. Like now you can have certain forms of identification on your phone, including credit cards or even gift cards.
Yeah, like it's kind of funny. It got to a point where every Saturday morning or Sunday morning, if I woke up to a phone call, I wouldn't even pick up the phone. I would just go look in my car and see if there's something in the car. And sure enough, there'd be glasses, a wallet, a phone. And then I go back. I took an Uber with you last night. I was wondering if you saw my glasses or you saw my scarf or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I got it. It's here.
So they still have access to your number the next day?
Well,
it's new now. Go ahead, Stefan.
Well, before they had to it goes through a secure line, so I can't see their number, they don't see mine, but it goes through and then I can hear the voicemail and this and that. Now they have to ask permission.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a way now you can actually see the driver's number. The only reason I know that is because I lost some sunglasses and I had to backtrack, and I was trying to contact the Uber driver to see if I left it in the Uber. In fact, it was the day of the Christmas party. I had taken my car to get a nail out of the tire, and then I had to take an Uber back over to the iHeartRadio Theater where they had the whole Christmas thing. And Kayla won the TV that was supposed to be mine because I gave her the raffle tickets. Yeah. Still mad about that. Barely even got a thank you from her. And she's at the station right now. I hope she hears me.
She doesn't care.
I know she doesn't. It's Later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app and on YouTube.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles. Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
At Arizona State University, we've made online education better, smarter, and more personalized so you can go further in your aspiring field.
I decided to pursue medicine once I realized that ASU did have the online program for biological sciences. You're still required to learn the same curriculum. You're still being tested on the same content that anyone would be tested on in person. The comprehensiveness of the program prepared me so well for medical school.
Explore over 300 programs at asuonline.asu.edu.